Chapter 61 Ba Guan. Again you are listening at novelfull.audio. At 5 o'clock, Bai Chen arrived at the entrance of the Xing Sing business district, dropped off by Qian Bei. He learned that Qian Bei came from a very rich family and lived in a very large house. Actually, Qian Bei's Qian family was second only to Li Lin's Li family in terms of wealth. Today, Qian Bei had taken him to play dating games, which made him not unsure of whether to laugh or cry. He had never dreamt that an old uncle like him would be playing one of these. But after playing one for real, he discovered that they were actually quite entertaining. By saying yes to Qian Bei's invitation to play video games at the guy's house, he had completed his mission. Bai Chen received 5 points. Adding that to what he already had, the total sum was 80. Bai Chen only needed 20 more points to move up to level 3. Getting 20 points was not difficult at all, because he was going to attend a party and pretend to be Long Su-in's boyfriend to get those 20 points anyway. The mission he had just completed did not provide the roulette bonus, of course, as it had been worth only 5 points. As for the new missions, he had not viewed them yet. Bai Chen would check them all out at home. Bai Chen had almost arrived at the entrance of the business district. He had heard the big news as well, but he was not panicked. That was because Bai Chen was the person responsible for Hu Tong's murder and had left the body there without a care. He knew very well that the police would never trace this homicide back to him. The White Tiger gang will definitely send someone to kill me again, Bai Chen thought to himself while walking. He had now become the official enemy of the White Tiger gang, so it was natural that they would not let him be. The White Tiger gang would definitely send someone to kill him again. Bai Chen had actually given the White Tiger gang some thoughts, too. He was trying to find a way to get rid of this gang. If he just let them be, it was possible that they would turn their attention to his parents, which would put them in a dangerous position. Bai Chen would never let such a thing happen. He would never let history repeat itself. When the Wang Qingye incident had happened, there had been nothing he could do. But everything was different this time. He had the wonderful life-changing system to assist him. Bai Chen believed that if he received special items like magic swords or guns, eliminating the White Tiger gang would be a piece of cake. "Hey, bastard Bai Chen, you're back at last." A vengeful voice sounded. Bai Chen, who was walking and pondering the White Tiger gang matter, raised his head to look. He stopped short. The corners of his mouth lifted up into a faint smile. It was just like he had anticipated. The White Tiger gang had really sent someone to kill him again. He had not expected Ba Guan to be leading the people who were going to kill him, though. Behind Ba Guan stood 2 men in black. Both of the men were very muscular. They were also holding guns with silencers. It looked like the White Tiger gang was rather cautious when it came to murder. Otherwise, it would not be the guns with silencers they would be using, but normal ones. "Ba Guan, I'm gonna kill you today," Bai Chen thought to himself. He had not killed the guy off last time because previously, he had not wanted to take a life. Everything was different today, though. Bai Chen had already killed Hu Tong. Finishing off Ba Guan or other criminals from the White Tiger gang felt like nothing to him. "Why aren't you saying anything? Afraid to die?" Seeing Bai Chen became silent, Ba Guan jeered at him in a cold voice. He was acting all arrogant now that there were people backing him up. "Don't waste time, Bro Guan. Boss Ma said to bring this bastard to where he killed Hu Tong so that Boss Ma can finish him off for revenge," one of the 2 guys behind Ba Guan declared. "Understood." Ba Guan nodded. Even though he had heard it was Bai Chen who had killed Hu Tong, he did not feel much about it. That was because he did not know who Hu Tong was. If he had known, Ba Guan would definitely have not acted all arrogant in front of Bai Chen. Hu Tong was, after all, the deadliest assassin in the entire White Tiger gang. Yet, he'd still lost his life at the hands of Bai Chen. "If you don't want to die now, come with us quickly." The same guy spoke again, pointing his gun to the right, suggesting Bai Chen head over in that direction. The other guy continued to point his gun at Bai Chen. If he decided to make a run for it, he would definitely be shot dead. The eyes of the two guys holding guns made that evident. However, Bai Chen was not trying to run in the first place. On the contrary, he felt quite happy when he heard that Boss Ma was waiting for him. If he understood right, the person coming for him was Ma Jiang, the person he so very much wanted to meet and kill. Bai Chen walked into the shrubbery, heading straight to the spot where he'd killed Hu Tong last night. Luckily, at 5 o'clock, no one was passing through the entrance of the business district. The customers were busy shopping, as it was prime time for discounts and sales. No one was there to witness Bai Chen walking into the bushes. Ba Guan and the two men followed along. Continuously advancing forward, Bai Chen saw tape labeled "Keep Out" forming a perimeter all around the place where he'd killed Hu Tong. As many as 9 people were inside the space created by the tape. With Ba Guan and the two men behind him, that would make 12. Bai Chen could not help but smile coldly in his heart. He did not expect that the White Tiger gang would bring 12 men just to take his life. "So, you're Bai Chen L.RG." As soon as he crossed the perimeter, a middle-aged man with a scar on his face spoke. "So, you're Ma Jiang." Bai Chen did not answer but responded to Ma Jiang in a similar manner. From his prison experience, he could easily tell who the leader of this group was. Bai Chen thought the boss of these people was Ma Jiang, so it was not surprising why he said what he just said. "Watch your mouth." Ma Jiang's face twitched. He eyed Bai Chen with malice. End of chapter 61. Chapter 62 No Mercy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Chen felt nothing in regard to Ma Jiang's malice-filled gaze. He surveyed the people behind Ma Jiang. There were 8 in total, and each had a gun with a silencer. Of course, all the muzzles were pointing at him. Even so, Bai Chen did not show any sign of panic. He seemed very calm. It was as if this situation was nothing out of the ordinary. The reason behind his calmness was because Bai Chen believed in his low-grade martial arts technique and the gun with a silencer that he'd used to kill Hu Tong. There were 10 more bullets left. With 10 more bullets, if nothing went wrong, he would be able to kill 10 of Ma Jiang's men. The 2 left were not a problem either. He could use the low-grade martial arts technique to kill them. "Were you the one who killed Hu Tong?" Though he had a considerable desire to kill Bai Chen, Ma Jiang did not jump into it right away. "If that is the case, then what?" Bai Chen said, looking at Ma Jiang with an indifferent expression. "Good. Very good. You're quite a brave person. Such a shame that brave people usually don't live that long." Ma Jiang felt very angry when he heard Bai Chen directly admit to his crime. His demeanor was also nowhere near being afraid of the gang Ma Jiang had brought, which made him all the more enraged. "Kill him." He waved his hand to give the order. The 8 underlings behind him and the other 2 behind Ba Guan were about to fire their guns with silencers attached. Bai Chen perceived everything in slow motion. He sent his thoughts to the dimension ring and retrieved the gun with a silencer. His reaction was rapid. Not a single one of his enemies saw what happened. Die. With the gun in his hand, Bai Chen used the stargazing walker skill to leap 3 meters into the sky and spun his body to face Ba Guan. He pulled the trigger twice in a row. Pew! Pew! 2 bullets shot through the air and landed right in the chests of the 2 people behind Ba Guan. After having pulled the trigger at those 2 guys, Bai Chen spun around again and sprayed bullets mercilessly at the 8 underlings behind Ma Jiang. Pew! 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 The bullets hit 8 men in the middle of their chests. Bai Chen aimed at these men's chests because they were quite big targets. His accuracy was not very high, so he feared that he might miss the targets by aiming for their heads. Thud! Thud! As though they had planned it, the bodies of Ma Jiang's 10 men all fell onto the ground at the same time, their life drained out of them. 7 of the men were not breathing anymore. They had been shot dead on the spot. There were 3 men with some life left in them. They were not dead yet, but they nearly were. Blood kept spewing out of their chests uncontrollably, permeating the area with a strong, pungent odor. See, crap. Ma Jiang's and Ba Guan's mouths were agape, so wide an egg could have been forced into them. Their eyes were also widened to the point that they almost popped out. They felt their breathing stop momentarily, along with their hearts. The 2 of them could not believe what they were witnessing. Everything happened in a flash, and none of them could react in time. Bai Chen landed on the ground. He threw the spent gun at Ba Guan's face. Bang! The force from the throw caused Ba Guan's face to cave inward. Fresh blood splattered all over the place. Ba Guan fell to the ground. He covered his face with his 2 hands as he let out a pathetic cry of pain. He was now screaming in pain like an animal being slaughtered, wriggling on the floor. Ma Jiang's face was drained of color. His breathing grew heavy from terror. He had not expected that he would run into someone as skilled as Bai Chen. Moreover, this guy in front of him could kill without batting an eyelash. He had already taken out 10 of his men. That was right. The 3 men, who had still been breathing previously, had now perished. They had not been able to stand the severity of their wounds. Now Ma Jiang truly regretted his decision. If he had known beforehand that Bai Chen was this terrifying, he would never have messed with him in the first place. No, he would not even have dared to respond to Ba Guan's request. Ma Jiang wanted to kill off Ba Guan because he was the guy who'd brought calamity upon him. Under these circumstances, he knew that that was not an option. Ma Jiang, instead, thought of running away. But how could Bai Chen not understand Ma Jiang's thought process? He quickly approached the 2 dead bodies of Ma Jiang's underlings next to Ba Guan and kicked 2 guns up off of the ground and into his hands. "Don't move an inch, boss Ma Jiang," said Bai Chen, pointing the guns at the 4th in rank of the White Tiger gang. Cold sweat broke out and dripped down Ma Jiang's forehead. He stared at Bai Chen with fear. Don't shoot. If you do, the White Tiger gang will not leave you be. Just hear me out first. I'm only the gang's number 4. If the news that you kill me reaches the top 3, you will never walk out of this alive." Though he was terrified, Ma Jiang still spewed out threats. He believed that Bai Chen would not dare kill him, knowing the notoriety of the White Tiger gang. So, Bai Chen could not care less. He also did not have even the slightest amount of mercy, as he was determined to eradicate every single member of the White Tiger gang. "Why, you?" Ma Jiang did not expect the absence of fear in Bai Chen. He turned around and ran for his life. Pew! The sound of the gun with a silencer on it rang out as Bai Chen pulled the trigger. The bullet blasted through Ma Jiang's back to his front. His body suddenly slumped onto the ground. Ma Jiang moaned painfully on the ground for a time before he took his last breath. End of Chapter 62. Chapter 63 The Grand Xing Feng Hotel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After watching Ma Jiang die, Bai Chen turned to look at Ba Guan, who was squirming on the ground in pain. He pointed the gun at Ba Guan's head and pulled the trigger. Pew! The bullet went straight through Ba Guan's head. He stopped moving. His life had ended. "This is the end of you, Ba Guan. If you hadn't done that to me, you wouldn't have ended up like this," Bai Chen said. He felt no regret killing off Ba Guan. Ba Guan deserved this for what he'd done. Bai Chen put the gun with 9 remaining bullets into his dimension ring. He then walked over to put all the guns scattered on the ground into the ring as well. The boy believed that he would surely get a chance to use them again in the future. He then left the area, heading back home. Bai Chen did not care about cleaning up the body this time either, because no one would know he was the person responsible for killing Ba Guan and his crew. As soon as he got home, Bai Chen took a shower and changed. He dressed himself in the suit that Long Su-in had gotten for him. The outfit consisted of a navy suit jacket with navy trousers, together with a white shirt and a black necktie. These clothing items made him look exactly like a high-profile businessman. Having gotten dressed, Bai Chen went downstairs. It was 20 minutes to 5. The time he'd made an appointment with Long Su-in was approaching. Little Chen. As soon as he arrived on the first floor, his mother cried out in panic, seeing her son clad in an expensive-looking suit and tie. "What's wrong, Mum?" Bai Chen smiled a little as he walked over to his mother. He did not think his mum's reaction was weird at all because his family was not rich enough to afford an expensive suit. Seeing him dressed in a costly-looking attire would, of course, shock her. Where did you get this suit from?" Bai Chen's mother asked with a shaky voice. "My friend. I have to attend a party with my friend." Bai Chen chose to lie instead of telling his mother it was Long Su-in who'd bought it for him. The reason was nothing more than not wanting to speak the truth. Knowing what had really happened would just make her worried about the fact that a beautiful girl had bought him a suit and invited him to a party. Bai Yu sighed when she heard what her son said. "You look really sharp. Are you attending a party?" "Yes, Mom." After seeing his mother overcome her shock, Bai Chen smiled. "Where's Dad?" "Your dad went out to buy something for me. He'll return soon. So, I don't have to prepare anything for you today, right?" Bai Yu looked over her son in the suit and smiled with satisfaction. He looked really handsome in a suit. "No, you don't have to. I'll be off then." Bai Chen nodded and said goodbye to his mother. He then walked out of the house. Along the way, many acquaintances teased him about his appearance, asking where he would be taking a lady out today. Bai Chen only smiled in reply. When he exited the business district, he saw Long Su-in's latest model BMW waiting for him. Bai Chen could not help but smile. It seemed like she had been waiting for him. He walked up to the car and knocked on the window lightly. Long Su-in lowered the window and smiled beautifully. "You're late." "Late? I think there are 5 more minutes to 6. Bai Chen said this as he was checking out Long Su-in. She was in a blue dress. Her attractive figure made her look extremely lovely and enchanting. It made Bai Chen stare at her with widened eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. "Hop in." Long Su-in smiled at him. Of course, she noticed his manner before, and it made her smile happily inside. Bai Chen did not wait around. He walked around the car to open the passenger door and get in. As soon as he closed the car door, he smelled something very nice and unique. Bai Chen did not have to give it much thought to know that it was Long Su-in's scent. He breathed in deeply and spoke. "Nice perfume, thanks." Long Su-in blinked. She looked at Bai Chen with an odd expression. She had not expected him to compliment her perfume instead of her outfit. She did not give it much thought, though. "The suit looks good on you. You chose this for me, so how could it not look good on me?" Bai Chen said, teasing her a little. "Let's go." Long Su-in pretended not to hear him, but she smiled secretly in her heart. She drove off, heading for the Grand Xing Feng Hotel. Half an hour later, Long Su-in brought Bai Chen to their destination. The Grand Xing Feng Hotel was indeed the best hotel in Xingzhou City. It was gigantic and absolutely gorgeous. After parking in the underground parking lot, Long Su-in took him to the 3rd floor of the hotel. The hotel had 5 floors in total. The 3rd floor housed a conference hall, which today had been booked by her friends for an older person's birthday party. Long Su-in called this person Grandpa. Bai Chen was brought to the entrance of the hall. There were 3 members of staff at the front to welcome the guests. They were also making sure everything operated smoothly. Long Su-in got out the invitation card and handed it over to the staff. They inspected the card and gave them friendly smiles. They were secretly watching Long Su-in as she walked past. In their eyes, she was a very beautiful woman, probably the most beautiful one attending the birthday party. They could not help but feel jealous of Bai Chen. He was not only accompanying her today, but she was also walking arm in arm with him. That was right. Long Su-in was now walking arm in arm with Bai Chen. The boy did not know what to do. It was not only her sweet scent that was constantly tickling his nose, but it was also her pale, smooth breasts that were touching his arm. With the situation unfolding like this, Bai Chen did not know how to react. It made him feel both happy and troubled at the same time. End of chapter 63. Chapter 64 Birthday Party. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su-in, how long are you going to keep holding on to my arm? Bai Chen could not help but ask this. Many pairs of jealous eyes belonging to men at the party were fixed on him. Long Su-in took him into a corner of the hall. Right now, the hall was filled with more than 40 people. All of them were dressed elegantly and in a well-to-do manner. It was certain that all of them were here to be a part of the birthday party. Long Su-in blushed for a moment before speaking out unhappily. You really think I want to cling to your arm? I'm doing this to trick others into thinking we are a couple. Do not forget what I brought you here for. Bai Chen could only nod to show his understanding. It was not that he disliked it. But it was that her hold was restricting his movement. Are you hungry? Have you eaten yet? Long Su-in asked this whilst glancing over at the long dining table. Different types of food were laid out for the guests to pick from. There was also a wine table beside it with many kinds of expensive wines for the guests as well. I could use some food, Bai Chen answered honestly because he was feeling quite hungry. Then wait here. Do not go anywhere. I will grab some food for you, Long Su-in said before letting go of his arm and walking towards the dining table. Bai Chen's eyes followed her gorgeous back. He could not help but smile and think that she was quite good looking. Hello. While Bai Chen was waiting for Long Su-in, a voice spoke to him from the side. He had to turn to look and saw a handsome man in a white suit walking towards him with a smile. Hello. Bai Chen had no idea who this guy was. But he said hello back just to respond and to be courteous. My name is Lu Feng. May I ask, what is your relationship with Miss Su-in? The man, who had now moved in front of Bai Chen, asked. Bai Chen blinked before scanning the man in front of him thoroughly. There was a high chance he was asking this because he was also after Long Su-in. BDNV, I am her boyfriend, Bai Chen replied. It was certain that he said this just because Long Su-in had asked him to pretend to be her boyfriend tonight. There was no doubt that he had to reply this way. Her boyfriend. Lu Feng raised his eyebrow. Are you joking? It was obvious that he did not buy any of it and was quite upset that Bai Chen had said he was dating Long Su-in. The fact was, Lu Feng had been after her for 2 years now. He knew very well that Long Su-in did not care for any man, not even himself. So how could he believe that she had a boyfriend? Especially one who was not half as attractive as him. Not to mention the suit he was wearing. To Lu Feng's eyes, the suit Bai Chen was wearing was quite common, unlike his suit, which was tailored and was worth more than 100,000 yuan. I am not kidding. You can ask her yourself when she gets back, Bai Chen replied calmly, which was an indicator that he was not lying. Lu Feng narrowed his eyes before taking a step closer to Bai Chen. He whispered, if you've lied to me, I will make you pay for it dearly. And even if you really are her boyfriend, I will break you guys up. Bai Chen's face twitched once. He looked at Lu Feng and smiled. Up to you then, if you can do it. You son of a... Lu Feng was furious. He did not expect Bai Chen to dare talk to him like this. Lu Feng was the heir to the Lu family, which was a powerful family and the third richest one in Xingzhou, after the Qian and Li families. Thus, when someone this lowly said something like that to him, Lu Feng could not help but feel livid. "Do you want to die?" Lu Feng asked coolly. Bai Chen stopped smiling. If nobody messed with him, he would remain idle. But when someone provoked him, with a threat no less, it was quite hard for him to let things go. It was certain that he was not just going to let this pass or just accept the threat passively. "It's you who wants to die, isn't it?" "Why, you?" "You." Lu Feng's lips trembled. He pointed his finger at Bai Chen's face, his eyes brimming over with malice. "Boomf. I will have you know that if you do not stop seeing Long Su in, I will make sure you regret it for the rest of your life." "I will be waiting," Bai Chen said without a care. "You will see indeed." Lu Feng spoke these last words angrily before storming off. Bai Chen looked on at Lu Feng's back emotionlessly. If another party was causing problems for him, he did not mind retaliating. And if Lu Feng wanted to trouble him to the point where his parents might get into trouble too, Bai Chen would gladly kill Lu Feng for it. Because he would not allow anybody to ever harm his family. Bai Chen would not let life reset back to how things were before he discovered the life-changing system. Bai Chen quit focusing on Lu Feng at the same moment that Long Su In walked back. In one hand, she held a plate filled with many kinds of food. In another, she had a glass of wine. "Here you go." She passed the plate to him when she got back. Bai Chen took the plate with a smile. "Thank you. No need. I was the one who asked you to act as my boyfriend," Long Su In said whilst sipping the wine. Her face was satisfied. "This wine is not too shabby. You want to try some? I can get you some. It is all right. I will go get it myself if I want to try it," Bai Chen replied. It was clear that he did not want Long Su In to just go and grab everything he needed. He spoke while eating the food on his plate. End of chapter 64. Chapter 65. Lu Zhe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Chen finished the plate Long Su In had brought him. He'd found the food to be very delicious. He rubbed his stomach with satisfaction. Even though he was not yet full, the food had partially satisfied his appetite. Long Su In took another sip of her wine and said, "What did Lu Feng just talk to you about?" It was obvious that she'd seen their earlier interaction. "Nothing much. He told me to stop seeing you," Bai Chen said casually. He had no intention of telling her what Lu Feng had said to him because he could handle this matter on his own. He was no longer the weakling he had been before. If Lu Feng did not bother him, then all would be well and good. But if he did, Bai Chen could not say whether that guy would end up like Ma Jiang or Ba Guan or not. "Oh, really? And what did you say to him?" Long Su In asked, curious. "Nothing much. I just said I was your boyfriend, and then he got mad and left." Bai Chen said this and then he thought of something else, so he continued talking, "But don't you like him? He is a good-looking fellow. And it looks like he comes from a wealthy family as well." Long Su In's face remained still. Her reply was indifferent. "Don't joke around. Who'd like that Lu Feng guy? You have no idea how annoying he is. If I had not brought you with me today, I guarantee he would have followed me around non-stop." Bai Chen said nothing more. He walked straight to the dining table, where a few people were choosing food. When he walked off, Long Su In followed closely. He was her protector. How could she let him just wander off? Moreover, whenever she was with him, she felt relaxed and peaceful. Bai Chen never worried her once. Even though she knew that he liked her, he kept his distance and acted very normally. Bai Chen grabbed a couple of expensive-looking sausages and put them on his plate. Then, he added stir-fried vegetables before he started eating again. The few people who were around the dining table turned to him with jealous faces. Surely, they were jealous that Bai Chen had Long Su in beside him. They knew very well that she was not an ordinary lady, but a beautiful genius. After she'd spent less than 2 years in Xingzhou City, she'd managed to start a company. And due to her brilliance, the company was a huge success. It had already ended up Xingzhou's number 4 company. If she had more time, it was not difficult for her company to rise to the top instead of the Li Group. The men around the table wanted to get her attention as well, but it was a pity that she paid no attention to them whatsoever. Bai Chen felt the eyes looking at him, but he paid them no mind. He finished what was on his plate and put it away. Then, he walked over to the wine table that was covered by expensive wine glasses. Some of them were already filled. Tianhe wine tastes pretty good. Even though it is not yet famous in our country, it is still considered to be among the top wines. Long Su-in recommended this to him as soon as he got to the wine table. Bai Chen nodded before choosing the glass with Tianhe wine in it. Its color was red. It gave off an enchanting fragrance. Bai Chen was not a wine expert, but he could tell that this wine had been through proper fermentation. He put the glass to his lips and tasted Tianhe wine. As soon as the red liquid moved down his throat, Bai Chen blinked gleefully. Even though it was his first time trying wine, he still realized that its taste was exquisite. "How is it? Does it taste good?" Long Su-in asked. Her glass was already empty. She was preparing to grab another, but Bai Chen grabbed her arm. "Su-in, you should not drink too much. You need to drive." "What? You think I'm your chauffeur?" Long Su-in pretended to get offended. But of course, she knew he was right and stopped thinking about another glass of wine. Damn! Lu Feng was standing beside an old man. He was around 70 years old. He wore a nice looking Chinese outfit. His name was Lu Zhe, and he was the person this birthday party was meant for. He was the grandfather who Long Su-in had mentioned to Bai Chen. Lu Feng saw every moment of Long Su-in and Bai Chen being together. Grandpa, you must help me. Look, Su-in is with that lame guy." Lu Feng said angrily whilst looking at his grandfather, Lu Zhe. Lu Zhe was turning 70 this year, but he was still very strong. He looked at the couple and spoke. "Haha, no worries little Feng. I will handle it. Su-in is the granddaughter of one of my friends, whom I've helped. She will listen to me." "Thank you, Grandpa." Lu Feng felt better after hearing Lu Zhe's words. Lu Zhe smiled towards all the passing guests before walking towards Bai Chen and Long Su-in, Lu Feng by his side. But even with Lu Zhe's help, Lu Feng did not intend to let Bai Chen go. He'd already hired the White Tiger gang to beat him up. He just needed Bai Chen to leave the party by himself without Long Su-in by his side. This was one of the reasons why Lu Feng had asked his grandfather to separate the two. "Hello, little Su-in. It has been a while." Lu Zhe smiled warmly when he arrived in front of the couple. Long Su-in turned to look. She ignored Lu Feng, greeting the old man with a smile. "Good evening, Elder Lu." Then, she introduced Bai Chen. "This is my boyfriend Bai Chen. Introduce yourself." Bai Chen sneaked a look at her before saying, "I'm very pleased to meet you. I'm Bai Chen, Long Su-in's boyfriend." End of chapter 65. Chapter 66. A denied request. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Feng's face darkened when he heard their words. Even though before this, he had not totally believed what Bai Chen had said, now, he had to, because Long Su-in had said it herself. Lu Zhe's brows furrowed. He did not see how a guy like Bai Chen, who was not even half as attractive as his grandson, could have won Long Su-in's heart. But he did not care much. Even if they really were dating, he could break them up. If one was to ask why. It was because Lu Zhe had helped Long Su-in's grandfather before. Just one phone call to his old friend, Long Su-in's granddad, would lead to the order for them to break up. "Oh, how is Mr. Kwong doing? Is he doing all right?" Lu Zhe said, completely ignoring Bai Chen. It was clear that to him that someone like Bai Chen was not worth any interest. "Grandpa Kwong is doing well." Long Su-in was a little insulted that Lu Zhe ignored Bai Chen, but she had to keep talking to be polite. It was not because she cared about Lu Zhe or anything. But it was because she cared about Mr. Kwong, or Kwong Guang, whom Lu Zhe had just asked about. She respected him like he was her own grandfather, so she called him her grandpa. Kwong Guang had been her driver since she was a child. Surely, Lu Zhe did not know this. If he did, he would not have ignored Bai Chen, whom Long Su-in had introduced as her boyfriend. "I'm glad to hear that he is well." "Oh, right. Little Feng, my grandson, has something he needs to talk to you about. Could you go speak to him for a little while?" Lu Zhe said, expecting that Long Su-in would not be dare to disagree. But the old man overestimated his value. If it had not been for Kwong Guang, Long Su-in would not even be talking to him. Long Su-in smiled and replied, "I'm sorry. But I need to spend time with my boyfriend." "What? You deny my request?" Lu Zhe's expression changed instantly. His brows furrowed together more tightly. He did not expect Long Su-in to say no. Even Lu Feng was caught off guard because Lu Zhe always told him that Long Su-in would listen to him. But what was this? Long Su-in pretended not to hear Lu Zhe. She turned towards Bai Chen and said, "Let's go for a walk." Bai Chen nodded in agreement. "Okay. Wait, Su-in, are you really turning down my request?" Lu Zhe asked with a voice that was taken on a hard edge. Long Su-in's pretty brows knitted together. She did not like Lu Zhe's words at all. She wondered to herself who Lu Zhe thought he was that she had to listen to his commands. "Grandpa Lu, what if I deny your request?" she said. Her patience was wearing thin. "How dare you?" Lu Zhe was furious. "Do you know I can call your grandfather?" He never thought Long Su-in would dare talk to him this way. Even Kwong Guang never spoke to him in such a manner. "My grandfather." Long Su-in smiled coldly. In her mind, Lu Zhe must think that Grandpa Kwong was her actual grandfather, even though their surnames were different. He must think she was using her mother's last name. "Suit yourself," she said and dragged Bai Chen away from the scene. But she was not going for a walk, she was heading home. Long Su-in could not stand Lu Zhe's behavior any longer. Good. Lu Zhe spoke furiously. His two hands tightened into shaking fists. Lu Feng, standing beside him, was equally livid. "Are you going to let her go just like that?" "Of course not. Give me your phone. I will call Kwong Guang. Let's see what she does when she faces her own grandfather's rage," Lu Zhe said, trying to calm himself down. Lu Feng quickly took his phone out of his suit pocket before passing it to Lu Zhe. Lu Zhe dialed the number. As old as he was, his memory was still brilliant. The call was picked up after a few rings. An old man's voice sounded from the other end. "Hello, who is it?" "Kwong Guang, it's me, Lu Zhe said grumpily. "Lu Zhe, is it really you? How long has it been since we last spoke?" Kwong Guang laughed. "Never mind that. I have something to tell you. Your granddaughter, Long Su-in, refused my request. Do you know what you have to do?" Lu Zhe spoke with an authoritative voice. Kwong Guang frowned. "Long Su-in. You mean the Long Su-in I introduced you to?" "Yes, which Long Su-in could it be?" "Sorry, Lu Zhe. I can't help you with that. If she does not want to do something, nobody can make her do anything. But if you offend her, I will pull your bones out and drown the whole of the Lu family in the river. Kwang Guang screamed through the phone. You, why did you talk to me that way? Lu Zai's mind switched from confusion to anger. Do you not remember how I helped you? What is this? Just for this one granddaughter, you have to disrespect me like this. Lu Zai, yes, you did help me. But I returned the favor many times over. Do not come asking for favors now. Let me warn you, if you do not quit bothering her, the Lu family will disappear from Xingzhou for sure. Why, you? Lu Zai was so mad he was out of words. But he did not dare challenge Kwang Guang's power. Kwang Guang used to be a soldier, and he was a colonel. His influence in the army still remained. If he wanted, the Lu family of Xingzhou could easily disappear. Lu Zai took a deep breath, calmed his anger, and asked a question. Kwang Guang, I understand now. Long Su-in is not your real granddaughter, correct? Obviously, Lu Zai was not dumb. From what Kwang Guang had said, he had worked out the fact that Long Su-in was not Kwang Guang's actual granddaughter. End of chapter 66. Chapter 67. An ignored warning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How can she not be my granddaughter? Lu Zai, your brain must be inside out. Kwang Guang was not going to admit Long Su-in was not his granddaughter. The reason was nothing more than he did not feel like it. And he had already warned Lu Zai that if he were to mess with her, the Lu family would be wiped out. No, actually, even if he did not take action, her own family would. At this point, there was no doubt that the Long family was also very powerful. Hearing Kwang Guang said that, Lu Zai frowned. He could not tell if Kwang Guang was lying or telling the truth. But he did not dare cross the ex-soldier at this time. All right, I understand. I will leave your granddaughter alone. Please rest assured about that. Very good. That is what you should do. Kwang Guang did not trust Lu Zai but chose not to say it. He hung up the phone with the thought of sending someone to observe the Lu family. If Lu Zai planned anything against Long Su-in, a disaster would befall the Lu family and it would be wiped out instantly. Lu Zai passed the phone back to Lu Feng, his grandson. Lu Feng took the phone back and asked worriedly, Grandpa, we wouldn't really just let her go like this, right? Lu Zai thought for a while, then smiled coolly. Of course not. She made me angry. We need to teach her a lesson. You go contact the White Tiger Gang and have them send people to capture her. Then, you go play with her and record a video. Then, even if she wanted to tell anyone, she couldn't. Lu Zai was an evil man. He was always holding grudges over trivial matters. If someone were to not listen to what he said, they would have to bear the consequences. Lu Feng was over the moon upon hearing what his grandfather had said. He nodded continuously. Thank you very much, Grandpa. He had already hired the White Tiger Gang to beat Bai Chen half to death. Hiring them for another matter should not be a big problem, so he dialed the number right away. Hello, is that Brother Tan? Yes, it's me. A middle-aged man's voice sounded through the phone. His name was Tan Tien, he was the third most powerful member of the White Tiger Gang. Brother, here's the thing. Lu Feng stated his demands without hesitation. Tan Tien smiled at the other end of the line. Young Master Lu, please do not worry. That is no problem at all. I brought 5 guys with me. We are waiting in the Grand Xing Feng Hotel's parking lot. When they come down, everything will go as smooth as silk. Thanks a lot, Brother Tan. I'll pay you well for this. Ha ha ha. Tan Tian laughed heartily before hanging up the phone. Everything is settled, Grandpa. I will take my leave now, Lu Feng reported to Lu Zai excitedly. He had been waiting for the moment he would get to play with Long Su-in for a long time. Off you go now. Lu Zhe grinned evilly before he walked over to some other wealthy guests who were attending his party. In the Grand Xingfeng Hotel's parking lot, Long Su-in was walking along with Bai Chen. Her expression was unusual. She said abruptly, "If I had known this was going to happen, I would not have wasted my time coming here." "Lu Zhe, who does that old bastard think he is?" Bai Chen looked at her whilst walking towards her car. "That's how rich people behave." His voice was tinged with anger. He had experienced dealing with those who were either wealthy or were supported by powerful families. Nobody would ever understand how painful it was. When Bai Chen saw Lu Feng and Lu Zhe showing off their power, even though his reactions were normal, he had felt disgusted in his heart, not to mention angry. "You're talking as though you are not rich," Long Su-in commented in regards to his speech before she adjusted her gold framed glasses. It was clear that she still had the idea that he was the son of a rich family whose wealth was in its second generation. "How could I be?" Bai Chen was about to finish explaining but cut himself off before stopping his steps upon seeing 6 people standing around Long Su-in's BMW. "Seems like we have got trouble," he said. Long Su-in had just noticed that, too. She stopped walking as well. Her gorgeous face showed coldness. "Surely, Lu Zhe paid them. That old scum is vicious. It seems like I have to really wipe out the Lu family." Bai Chen acted like he did not hear her words. He walked straight towards the 6 guys, who were dressed like gangsters. Benoel Dem in particular, was the middle-aged man. He had dyed his hair blonde. His face was covered in facial hair and he'd had his ears pierced in multiple spots. "Where do you think you're going?" Long Su-in held his arm. She was scared Bai Chen was going to get beat up if he got any closer. "I will take care of them." "It will not take long," Bai Chen replied. He had a different idea than Long Su-in about these 6 thugs. He thought it must have been Lu Feng who'd paid them to attack him because it was Lu Feng who'd said, "We will see about this." If that was the case, he needed to handle it without involving Long Su-in. "You?" Long Su-in asked, not believing her eyes. "You do not believe me?" Bai Chen turned to ask. "You want to make a bet? What do you want to bet on?" Long Su-in was not afraid of gambling, no matter who dared to make a bet. Bai Chen smiled a little. "How about you buy me a meal? I'm not quite full yet." Obviously, he was not going to make the stakes a kiss like he did when he bet against Li Lin. The reason was simple. He liked Li Lin. As for Long Su-in, even though she was pretty, Bai Chen only thought of her as a friend. "No problem. You can eat your fill." Long Su-in was never short on money. Of course, she could buy him just one meal. End of chapter 67. Chapter 68. A quick match. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Be careful. Even though she'd said that she would treat Bai Chen to a meal if he could get rid of all these 6 hooligans, Long Su-in could not help but worry about him. She was not sure if he would be able to take out the 6 of them. "Don't worry." Bai Chen did not say much. After Long Su-in let go of his arm, he walked up to the gangsters nonchalantly. He had killed all of Ma Zhang's crew. Why would he be scared of these 6 hooligans? "Hey, look at this. The target is approaching us," Tan Tien said whilst looking at Bai Chen, who was heading their way. He also saw Long Su-in, who was standing some distance away. His eyes shone. So pretty. It was not only he who found Long Su-in extremely gorgeous. His 6 men shared the same thought. Indeed, all men in the whole world would have a similar reaction if they were able to see her. Long Su-in was indeed a very beautiful woman. "Boss, is it that wimp who young Master Lu ordered us to beat to death?" one of Tan Tien's underlings asked curiously. Tan Tien waved his hand carelessly. "It must be him. Capture that guy. And that woman too." "Got it, boss." Two of Tan Tien's men smiled cruelly. They took several steps towards Bai Chen, cracking their knuckles in a way that made slight noises that reached Bai Chen. "Kneel, if you don't want to be hurt too badly." Tan Tien's man spoke arrogantly. He did not even think Bai Chen was a match for him. "Yeah, that's right. You can't blame us for this. You were the one who crossed the line with young Master Lu Feng," another one said. When he heard their remarks, Bai Chen reconfirmed his speculation that this was Lu Feng's doing. "Why do I have to kneel for you guys?" Bai Chen asked with an indifferent expression. The two men who served Tan Tien that were approaching Bai Chen grinned widely. "Because we're stronger than you." "That may not be certain." Bai Chen did not waste time talking. He was about to head over to teach these two guys a lesson. But before he could do that, the sound of laughter rang out from behind. It was not Long Su-in's voice, but Lu Feng's. "Ha ha ha, how's it going? Do you know the consequences already?" Lu Feng sneaked up behind Long Su-in, causing her to quickly step away. "Where are you going, my love? You're gonna be mine today anyway." Lu Feng looked at her and licked his lips lasciviously. Long Su-in looked at Lu Feng with disgust. She then took out her phone. "Don't even think of calling the police." Lu Feng's expression changed a little. He rushed towards her, trying to take the phone away. Long Su-in let out a "oomph" and kicked Lu Feng in the crotch. The guy started seeing stars right away. His balls were throbbing with immense pain. "Arg! Why, you bitch! You dare hurt me!" Lu Feng fell to the ground with his two hands holding his crotch, squirming on the ground. Long Su-in did not pay any more attention to Lu Feng. She quickly walked away and dialed a number. Observing the situation, Tan Tien smacked his lips and said, "What are you guys waiting for? Go. Don't let her call anyone." In fact, he was not afraid of the police at all because the leader of his White Tiger gang was a sibling of an inspector stationed at the Xingzhou police station. He just did not want to go to the trouble of bribing that inspector, which was why he could not let Long Su-in call the police. The three men standing next to Tan Tien did not wait around. They rushed towards Long Su-in in an instant. "Where do you think you're going?" Bai Chen, of course, could not let them pass. He moved and raised his fists to punch the two guys in front of him until they fell onto the ground, unconscious after just a single punch. He then stepped over to block the way of the three gangsters. "You!" Seeing Bai Chen knock the two guys out with just one punch, the three men abandoned the thought of approaching Long Su-in to stop her from making a call on her phone. They stared at Bai Chen and surrounded him. "Finish him," one of them said and ran to throw a punch at Bai Chen's back. Thud. Bai Chen did not even try an evasive move. His body was like steel, so how could a mere punch of one hooligan compare to that? "Arg! My hand," the hooligan screamed. His hand hurt terribly like he had just hit a steel plate. Bai Chen spun around and kicked that gangster until his body flew away and struck a pole. His body slid down onto the ground and slumped there motionlessly, with him having obviously fallen unconscious. After taking care of that guy with his feet, Bai Chen did not wait around. He spun back and punched the faces of the two other guys who were throwing their fists at him. His two hands made them fly into the air and lose consciousness. "Impossible!" Tan Tien screamed. He saw 5 of his men getting beaten to a pulp without being able to put up a fight. The worst thing was that they had all lost consciousness. "Now, it's your turn." Bai Chen jumped over the hooligans' bodies, rushing towards Tan Tien. "Oomph! Who do you think you are? Do you think you're invincible?" Although Tan Tien was shocked that Bai Chen could take down 5 of his men in a flash, he did not fear Bai Chen at all. Tan Tien had lived his life in the underworld for a long time. He had also murdered as many as 10 people. How could he be terrified of Bai Chen? He ran towards Bai Chen and took out a pocketknife from his trousers. Die. He aimed it at Bai Chen's stomach. Bai Chen dodged quickly, and quite easily, too. At the same time, he swung his leg to kick the back of Tan Tian's neck. Thump. The guy saw countless stars together and felt intense disorientation. Bai Chen kicked him once more and Tan Tian fell to the ground and lost consciousness. The boy looked at his opponent, brushing his hands together for a bit. He then looked at Lu Feng, who was staring with his eyes wide, as if he had seen a ghost. End of chapter 68. Chapter 69. The end of the Lu family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How could it be? Lu Feng spoke with a shaky voice. He looked at Bai Chen as if he was seeing a ghost. He had not thought of this outcome, an outcome where Bai Chen had gotten rid of the whole of Tan Tian's gang. His crotch was feeling better now, so he could stand back up again. Lu Feng, you and the Lu family are going to vanish from Xingzhou City today. Long Su-in finished her phone call and walked up to Lu Feng. She kicked his crotch once again. She put in more force this time, breaking his balls in the process. Argh! Lu Feng screamed out in pain even more than the first time. His face was as white as a sheet. Lu Feng's face showed extreme agony. His balls had been broken this time, so the pain was 100 times more, causing him to cry out. The guy fell onto the ground again. No one would be able to understand what he was feeling right now. The pain was simply too much. Seeing Lu Feng in this state, Bai Chen could not help but feel the pain as well. He did not dare to step closer to Long Su-in. He was afraid that if he angered her, he would end up in the same state as Lu Feng. Long Su-in did not pay further attention to Lu Feng. She walked up to Bai Chen, her face showing signs of excitement. Long Su-in had not expected that Bai Chen would be able to get rid of all of Tan Tian's men. Moreover, he had taken care of the matter very quickly. I lost. Let's go. I'm gonna buy you a meal, she said, walking to her car. Bai Chen followed her, not even turning to look at Tan Tian's crew or Lu Feng again. Soon after, the BMW made its way out of the parking lot of the Grand Xingfeng Hotel. Long Su-in. You slut. You'll pay for what you did to me. Lu Feng clenched his teeth. His face was both white and blue, colored with tension and twisting from intense pain. He tried to suppress the pain, took out his phone, and called Lu Zhe. Barely 10 minutes later, Lu Zhe arrived with 2 bodyguards. His face was very solemn. What happened? Lu Feng was leaning against a pole. His face filled with pain and vengefulness. It was that slut Long Su-in and her boyfriend. They beat me and Tan Tian's crew to a pulp. Lu Zhe's expression shifted dramatically. This is not good. If Quang Guang learns of this, our Lu family will be done for. What should we do, Grandpa? Should we call my dad? Lu Feng's anger dissolved into horror, having heard what his grandfather said. Lu Zhe nodded in agreement. He also felt regret having made this decision. But what else could he do? He did not know that the situation would unfold this way. Lu Zhe got out his phone, preparing to call his son, Lu Du. Before he could do that, a black van approached at high speed. It stopped near the spot he was standing at. The color left Lu Zhe's face. His heart was beating furiously. He had never thought it would be this rapid. He had thought that something like this would happen. A car door banged open. 4 men in black suits rushed out of the van with shotguns in their hands. With the situation unfolding in this way, the 2 bodyguards behind Lu Zhe hurriedly got out their guns. But they were very slow. One of the guys in suits who had just gotten out of the van had a gun with a silencer. Seeing Lu Zhe's 2 bodyguards get out their guns, he did not hesitate. The guy pulled the trigger 2 times in a row. Pew! Pew! This person was a sniper, so there was no way he would miss. The two bodyguards' foreheads became riddled with bloody holes. Blood seeped out of them instantly. The two dead bodies fell to the ground, no longer moving. Why, you? Lu Zhe was horrified. His heart almost stopped beating. He had never thought that these people would dare to kill people right here. From what he had seen, there were security cameras here. Committing homicides meant there was no running from the police if they decided to check the cameras. Lu Zhe had no idea that Tan Tian's gang had disabled all the cameras. Even if the police were here, there would be no evidence to trace back to the murderers. Gee! Grandpa, what should we do? It was not only Lu Zhe who was afraid, Lu Feng also found himself in a similar state of mind. He peed his pants, which exacerbated the pain he felt from his broken balls, even more, when the urine mixed with blood. Get them all in the vehicle, said a man in a black suit who appeared to be the leader. His name was Qin Zhang. He was the person responsible for Long Su-in's safety and followed all her commands. He was here to take care of the business concerning Lu Zhe and Lu Feng under her orders. Yes, sir, the three men in suits replied in unison. They put Lu Zhe and Lu Feng into the black van. Though they tried to resist, there was nothing they could do. Tan Tian and his 5 men, who were still unconscious, were also put into the van, along with the dead bodies of the 2 guards, who had been shot dead. You lot, go and kill them all. Dispose of the bodies well. Don't let anything get back to us, Qin Zhang ordered. I'll stay and clean this place up. Yes, boss, the other men in black suits responded. The door of the van was shut, and off went the vehicle. Lu Zhe and Lu Feng heard what Qin Zhang had said and almost fell unconscious out of fear. They were in absolute despair. In their hearts, there was only regret. If they had known things would turn out this way, they would not have crossed paths with Long Su-in in the first place. Qin Zhang watched the van leave. He smiled callously. The Lu family was done now, once and for all. Lu Zhe and Lu Feng were murdered, while Lu Du and the other members of the family were sent overseas. There was no way they would be able to set foot in China again. End of chapter 69. Chapter 70 An Unexpected Encounter. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. It had been about 20 minutes since they left the Grand Xingfeng Hotel. Long Su-in took Bai Chen to a restaurant that appeared very fancy. It was almost 8 in the evening. She took him to sit by the balcony on the 2nd floor so that they could appreciate the night view. Order whatever you want. No need to hold back, Long Su-in said and gave Bai Chen the menu. A male staff member was waiting for their orders at their table. Bai Chen had, of course, never dined at such a restaurant before, which made him quite excited. He did not know what to order. Can you order for me? Please get me something good. In the end, he let Long Su-in order for him. She did not refuse and ordered a large number of dishes. The male waiter who was taking the order could only look at Bai Chen with jealousy. He was not only with a woman, but she was also treating him to a nice meal. Apart from the food, Long Su-in also ordered a bottle of wine from the year 1990, which was really expensive. Bai Chen had actually told her not to, but she did not listen and ordered it anyway. The wine was the first thing that was served. A female staff member poured wine into glasses for him and Long Su-in. Let's have a toast. After the staff member took her leave, Long Su-in raised her glass towards Bai Chen. Bai Chen clinked his glass with hers and gave the wine a taste. He found it very smooth. Not surprising why it is so expensive. He could only think this and wait for the food to be served. I didn't expect you to be good at fighting too, Long Su-in said. She had not seen this coming at all. But having thought about his wonderful magic, his excellent combat skill was not surprising at all. I've trained a little. Bai Chen smiled. He did not explain that he could beat Tan Tian's gang because of the low-grade martial arts technique that he had gotten from the life-changing system. Long Su-in said nothing more. She sipped the wine happily. Her fair, glowing skin became slightly rosy from the alcohol. Oh. It's that big bro. Suddenly, a cute voice sounded in shock. Long Su-in and Bai Chen turned to look. They saw a small girl with a very adorable face. She was about 10 years old and was in a pink dress. The girl was standing not very far away. Her hair was in pigtails. Bai Chen remembered her right away. Was this not the little girl he had run into in front of the flower shop last Saturday? Wow! I knew it was you. The cute little girl ran to him. She stopped next to the table Bai Chen and Long Su-in were sitting at. Air. Long Su-in said and looked at the little girl. The girl was quite surprised. She had not thought that the woman who had come with the guy she had run into in front of the florist would know her. She turned her small, cute face to look. Wow, it's Sister Su-in. The cute little girl changed from surprised to excited. She moved towards Long Su-in almost immediately. They obviously knew each other and had a great relationship. Who are you with? Long Su-in stroked the girl's head gently and asked. I'm with my sister. Sister? Which sister? Big sister, the little girl replied. Oh, Sister Xuening. Long Su-in nodded with understanding. She turned to look at Bai Chen. Do you know this guy? Not quite. We ran into each other in front of a florist's shop, the girl replied dutifully. She smiled at Bai Chen. She thought that this brother must have been buying flowers that day to give to Long Su-in, whom she knew. He must have been courting her. But her thoughts were quite incorrect. The person Bai Chen had bought the flower for was Li Lin, not Long Su-in. I see. I'll introduce him to you then. This guy is called Bai Chen. He's my friend. Long Su-in introduced Bai Chen to the little girl and vice versa. Bai Chen, this is Air. Su-Air, my acquaintance. Hello, little girl. Thank you for giving me advice that day. Bai Chen gave Su-Air a friendly smile. Su-Air smiled widely too. It was my pleasure. After introducing them to one another, Long Su-in questioned the little girl. Are you and your sister here for dinner? Have you finished? If not, care to join us? Su-Air shook her head with a smile. It's okay. Big sister doesn't like appearing in front of other people much. Long Su-in nodded with understanding. Su-Air's big sister was really pretty, even prettier than Long Su-in was. Every time she appeared in public, she always caught the attention of other people, no matter what age they were. This was the reason why she disliked showing herself in front of other people. Wherever she went, she would always wear dark sunglasses, a face mask, and a hat. Bai Chen sat opposite Long Su-in, so he heard everything they were talking about. There was a name that he found to be quite familiar. Xuening. Adding that to Su-Air's last name of Su, and the fact that the little girl was calling her big sister, Bai Chen felt a strong familiarity with the name, as if he had heard it somewhere before, but when he thought about it, he could not recall it exactly. As he was pondering things, a woman walked up to them. She was wearing a white dress with a floral pattern. Her face was concealed by sunglasses, a face mask, and a hat, so no one could see her face clearly. She stopped at the table where Bai Chen and Long Su-in were sitting. She stared intently at him, not moving her gaze elsewhere. Bai Chen looked at her. He felt her sweet scent was very familiar, though he still could not figure out who she was. Long Su-in and Su-Air looked at the woman in front of them and said one after the other, Big sister. Long time no see, Sister Xuening. The words of the two were somewhat different. End of chapter 70.